ABC 36 Friends of Cole Solid Blue Preview Show. Presented by Clark's Pump and Shop, Elliott Services, and Friends of Cole. Starts now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Seawalk Pavilion at Jacksonville Beach. I'm Jeff Pecora, alongside of Hallie DeVore and Jane Davenport. So happy you could join us for this next hour as we preview the Gator Bowl tomorrow at noon. Boy, it has been a fun but a very quick week, hasn't it, Hallie? It seems like we just got here.
It did. We flew by. We were at practice. We talked to the media. Jane has even got the chance to talk to some fans. Kentucky travels really well to Florida historically, so Jane got to talk to some of the fans today. How was that?
Oh, my goodness. You guys, it was incredible. Like you said, they travel so well. I got to talk with one of the coaches' wives, and she tells me every time they travel together, it's just so fun. And the entire fan base, it seems like, is here.
Yeah, and again, we just had the pep rally. Hopefully you're with us at 5 and 6 and saw that here as Clemson and UK had pep rallies here at the Pavilion. It was a lot of fun down here. But let's talk about the season now. This was a season of ups and downs for the Wildcats. Really what could have been a great ending, beating Louisville, getting them to 7 and 5.
Yeah, and that win against Louisville does give them so much momentum coming into this game. These last two games for Kentucky are huge because both of these games get Kentucky a trophy, something you don't see early on in the season. Clemson 8 and 4 finishing off the season. They started off their season a little bit slow, but they are on a 4-game winning streak. So both of these teams heading into this game with a ton of momentum.
All right, it was kind of a roller coaster, as I said, what could have been, what should have been. How about we take a look back at the year that was with our Forrest Tucker.
4 months has passed since Big Blue Nation approached a season full of SEC football. Now, as we await the last kickoff of 2023, we're taking a look back at what was this season of Kentucky football. Ball State came to town for the opener at Kroger Field, and Kentucky made quick work of the Cardinals. Offense, defense, and special teams accounted for visits to the end zone for the Wildcats on the way to a 44-14 win. Kentucky was off and rolling. A local foe, Eastern Kentucky, came into town next. The start was too slow for UK's liking. 7-7 was the score at halftime. But Tavion Robinson scored twice to help UK beat EKU 28-17. The last of 3 games in a row at home was also kind to Kentucky. Under the lights versus Akron, Kentucky's defense didn't allow a single touchdown. Ray Davis scored twice as Kentucky won 35-3.
One of the more complete games we played all year and in a long time, probably defensively. Appreciate that effort. Again, the special teams are doing what they have to do, playing really hard. Offensively, a lot of frustration again.
A first away game versus Vanderbilt was also Kentucky's first SEC game of this season. The star of the show was safety Maxwell Harrison, who did something no one else has done in Kentucky's history. He returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns. 45-28 was the final. Another first for the Cats came a week later. The number 22 Florida Gators was the first-ranked team to face UK. A Ray Davis signature performance of 280 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns sent the Gators back to the Swamp 33-14.
Personally, it was a great day for me, but honestly, I didn't really do much today. You got to give credit to the O-line and to the tight ends and the receiving core. Those guys blocking down the field 20 yards, just, staying with it, constantly going. Obviously today, running the ball was kind of something we were good at.
The hype for the Cats was building up, heading into a matchup with number 1 Georgia. UK was 5-0 and 2-0 in the SEC. But Kentucky was no match for the number 1 Dogs. An opposing Georgia defense limited Kentucky to under 200 yards of offense. UGA was up 34-17 at the half, and a score of 51-13 handed Kentucky its first loss of the season. Adversity hit Kentucky again at home versus the red-hot Missouri Tigers. After going up 14-0 in the first quarter, the Cats defense let 38 points slip past them on the way to a second straight loss. Border rival Tennessee was next and came into Kroger Field with no remorse. A close game went the wrong way, 33-27.
Very disappointed that myself and our coaches couldn't find a few more plays to pull off the victory. Very proud of our team for their commitment to getting better.
A trip on the road forced the Wildcats to flip the switch after coming up empty 3 games in a row. In Starkville, under the lights, Kentucky routed Mississippi State 24-3. J.J. Weaver and Kentucky's defense stepped up, limiting the Bulldogs to 218 yards of offense. The win came just in time to build momentum for Alabama to come to Lexington, but any hope of win ended quickly. Kentucky allowed the most points by an opponent in 2023 since they played Georgia, as the Crimson Tide tallied 49. Kentucky's up-and-down second half of the season continued on the road versus South Carolina. The game was winnable for the Cats until the Gamecocks intercepted a Devin Leary pass on the final UK drive to send Kentucky packing. 17-14 was the final, a game to forget for the Wildcats. But the rivalry for the Commonwealth was one to remember. Kentucky found their swagger again versus Louisville in a Governor's Cup Classic. Berrien Brown's 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown was the focal point as Kentucky put the L's down for the 5th year in a row, 38-31.
They found a way to pick themselves back up and to finish strong in a game that's important. It's important for us to elevate where we want to go in a bowl. It's important to us to finish. It's important to us and our fans to bring that Governor's Cup back home, I think, for the 5th straight against a very good team that I have a lot of respect for.
12 games later, Kentucky stands at 7-5. The second half of the season left much to be desired, but a win versus the number 22 ranked Clemson Tigers would be a great way for Big Blue Nation to ring in the new year. Good luck to the Cats in the Gator Bowl. I'm Forrest Tucker.
Well, thank you so much, Forrest. Yeah, you win that last game against Louisville, you lift a trophy, and hopefully you lift another one tomorrow, right?
Hopefully, but it does really depend on that offense. An offense that's kind of gone back and forth, hasn't had much consistency this season. We're going to hear from offensive coordinator Liam Cohen coming up after the break.
Yeah, so stay with us. More to come right after this.
You come off of a really important victory against your rival in the last game of the year, but this is a huge one. I mean, we're really playing an SEC football team.
This is how you take the field. This is how you make Saturday special. And this is how you leave your mark. This is how we go all out and show how the game is played. SEC on ESPN and ABC. This is how it's done.
Coal is Kentucky's most vital natural resource. It's affordable, reliable, and essential for our economy. Every coal job in Kentucky creates 3 to 5 additional jobs in local communities, driving investment and supporting local businesses. Coal plays a crucial role in generating affordable electricity, giving Kentucky a competitive edge in attracting businesses and creating jobs. Also, the taxes from coal support local infrastructure across the Commonwealth. Coal, it keeps the lights on. Powered by Friends of Coal.
To win a championship, you've got to have great players.
And great players need a great coach.
But there's only one stop you need to remember when you cheer on your team, and that's Clark's Pump and Shop.
Whether you're heading to the game or staying home to cheer, Clark's has a huge selection of snacks, drinks, and an incredible combination of fresh food. Now that's a lineup that can't be beat. Go to myclarkspns.com to download the app, find locations, and learn more about joining the Clark's team.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return.
Refresh.
Refuel.
Elliott Services is Central Kentucky's full-service electrical contractor. Connected to a proud tradition of electrical excellence, customers can count on Elliott Services for safe, reliable, and high-quality service for their home, business, or commercial project. Whether the project requires months of planning or you need an emergency repair in the middle of the night, the talented team at Elliott Services stands prepared to provide an effective solution when you need it most. Contact Elliott Services for a quote today.
Life can get pretty busy with someone to take care of their house.
4 different little schedules to follow.
Matt and Claire needed someone to take care of their house while they were taking care of everything else. So they called West Shore Home.
Our bathtub was very old, so we weren't really sure what was under that bathtub.
It's kind of crazy. They don't just cover it up. In just a few hours, they totally replaced the old tub. I didn't realize how big that bathroom is.
It looked like a different bathroom, honestly.
Yeah.
Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
Welcome back to the Seawalk Pavilion here in Jacksonville. As you can hear in the background, holiday music playing as we are approaching New Year's. I'm Jeff Pecoro, along with Jane Davenport. And Jane, one of the big attractions for Kentucky anywhere they go is the way their fans travel with them. That is why they are wanted basketball-wise anywhere they go, and any bowl game they go in football, their fans will follow.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, it's insane to see the amount of UK people who came all the way down from the bluegrass here to the beach in Jacksonville, which I don't blame them. I'd want to get out of the cold weather too. But I did have the chance to talk to a few of them, and here's what they had to say.
We came down to watch Kentucky beat Clemson.
Do you have full faith that they're going to beat Clemson?
100%. Wholeheartedly. Not a doubt in my mind.
These guys aren't the only fans who have full faith. I spoke with the player's dad, who tells me what his son told him about the game tomorrow.
I'm here to see the Kentucky Wildcats play the Clemson Tigers.
And I heard you have a special connection.
I do. My son is the backup center on the Kentucky football team, Kobe Keenum.
That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
So, do you have faith that they're going to win tomorrow?
Yeah, I had lunch with Kobe today, and he said they felt really good about everything. So we're excited, hopefully, and pull off a big win tomorrow.
Along with the players' parents, many UK alumni made their trip down to watch the bowl game. One shares his thoughts on Coach Stoops' impact on the team.
Stoops has got a culture, it seems, where a lot of guys are playing when other teams get, have a lot of guys opting out. And so we're going to field a full team. I'm confident we'll get them.
And of course, University of Kentucky students could not miss out on the action. One tells me how he feels about Jacksonville.
It's been good. We haven't been around it too much. We got in kind of late last night. Went to a couple bars, to a brewery. It's a good time. It's a good time here so far.
And along with him, other fans say they are spending their time in Florida.
Cheering on the Cats and enjoying some beach time.
And as always.
Oh, absolutely. Go Cats, baby.
Just go Cats.
Go Cats and go SEC.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Yeah, shout out, Mom. Shout out, Dad.
Go Cats. Go Cats.
And I did not even have to tell them to say go Cats at the end of that. It seems like they all just want to cheer on the Cats 24/7, which I don't blame them. They're incredible.
Jane, you're a Texas native, and this is the first time that you've come into Kentucky and gone somewhere with the team.
Yes.
Pretty amazing, the following, isn't it?
Oh my goodness. I truly have never seen anything like this. I personally didn't follow Texas Tech anywhere, which is where I went to school, but I do love the culture of them just being so dedicated to their team. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be fun tomorrow. Hopefully a sea of blue in the stadium. All right, so the important part of this whole thing is scoring touchdowns, right? And putting points on the board. Well, I was able to sit down with Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator of the Cats, and talk a little bit about this game. Coach, appreciate you taking a couple minutes here as we get ready for this bowl game, but really want to start with something that has just happened, and you really haven't had much time with the kid, but can lightning strike twice? And what I mean is you go to the portal, and to me, you look at Brock, and he's the exact same player Will Levis was coming out of Penn State.
Very similar. There's a lot of similarities there. High quality, high character kid. Graduated, from Georgia in 3 years. Very similar builds as well, and somebody that just really hasn't had an opportunity quite yet. That's talented, has a lot of tools. We've heard great things about, just hasn't had the opportunity to play yet. And so that was more the route we were looking for, somebody with a couple of years that we could truly invest in and that could also come into our program and make an impact a little bit longer on.
He's the future, but let's talk about the present because you still have one game left, and it's obviously the bowl game tomorrow. So when you look at a guy like Devin Leary, he's played against Clemson. Yep. He knows them. Yep. He's 1-2. He didn't have to play in this game. Right. What was your conversations with him like, and why does he want that one more chance?
It was pretty short and sweet. He wanted to do this, all along. There was never any wavering. He wants to finish what he started and play against the team that he's played against. Right? He has a lot of familiarity with this team, and he hasn't ever played in a bowl game.
You also get Ray and Jutan, so you'll have a full complement in the backfield as well. So will there be any differences in the way you run things that we saw all season long?
Probably not. I mean, you're just trying to finish what you started. Obviously, we want to execute and play at a higher level. Coming off, obviously, a good solid 31-point output against Louisville. That's something we want to build off of. Wasn't perfect by any means, but for us to come out, finish the season the right way, That's what we're looking to do. And then really once the off season hits, evaluate, really dig into the system, dig into the players. How do we want to do things moving forward? But as we go into this bowl game, we really just want to finish off what we started.
Talk about Clemson for just a second. Kind of an off year for them. They only won 8 games, but they've got a ton of NFL talent. You really don't know who's going to play, who's not. Right. They say it could be up to 8 starters not playing, but beside the point. Yeah. They're big, they're strong, they're very physical at their front 7, aren't they? Yeah, it's obviously one of the top 10 defense in the country. They're extremely violent and fast in the front 7. We're kind of thankful Trotter's not playing, and a few of the really good players, but they've got a lot of them. They've done a great job recruiting, developing some of that the front 7. In the back end, they've got a few guys supposedly not playing. One's opting out, one's in the portal. So it's definitely one of those things you don't truly know what you're going to get, but their scheme is their scheme, their system's their system, and they count on their front 7 to cause a lot of havoc both in the run and the pass game. They're kind of an outlier in the fact that to me, they're more of an NFL-style team where they're going to run man a lot, right? Because they think they can get so much pressure that it's not going to give them time to do those double routes and rub routes and things, right? That is the exact plan. I mean, that is who they are. That's their identity. They're a 5-man, 6-man rush, cover 1 team, which is difficult at times. But if you can get the ball off, if you can hang on to the ball a little bit, protect at a high level and win on the perimeter, that has to be the goal. That has to be our standard. They do a great job creating havoc with the turnovers. They've got double-digit turnovers in the interceptions, double-digit forced fumbles, and 30 sacks on the year. So they've done a nice job, like you say, creating havoc with the front 7 while also playing grab a little bit in the back end. They'll grab you, they'll hold you, but they do a good job playing man coverage. All right, I have to ask you about the transfer portal because it's taken away, but it's also given. Yeah. 2 quarterbacks coming in. A running back from a huge school, Ohio State, where he was part of the trio that ran there, and a couple of wide receivers. It's been good to you so far. Yeah, it has. I mean, this is the landscape, and I don't know if it's going anywhere. So first and foremost, we did a pretty good job of keeping guys in the program that maybe were looking elsewhere, that were maybe looking for another opportunity, that we were able to get back, and that was important because we've invested time, development into those players. So we were able to get some of those guys back that we were really trying to get back. And then you go into the portal to find some depth, some immediate starters, some plug-and-play players. It's definitely been good to us. 2 more questions for you. I assume you and Mark had a lot to do with who you brought in as the receivers coach. Yeah. He's here. Will he coach in the bowl game, or are you just getting him familiar with everybody? Right? Yeah, just getting familiar. Trying to get him with some of the players, to meet some of those guys, just to evaluate the building, evaluate the schedule, and just kind of start on what he has to do, right? Exactly. It's not fair for us to ask him to come in and coach right now. That's probably, we really want to make sure once this bowl game's done and we head into this off season that he has a fresh start and he can really kind of set the standards of that room, the expectations, and that'll be the situation moving forward. And finally, Mark talks about this all the time in the offseason, the importance of winning the bowl game to you. Huge, huge. I mean, you come off of a really important victory against your rival in the last game of the year, but this is a huge one. I mean, we're really playing an SEC football team. Let's be real. I mean, this is like any other game that we play each week of the season. That's how important it is. That's the level and standard at which we're going to have to play to. They've been a very successful program. They've done it at a high level for a long time. They recruit very well, obviously. So this is a huge one for us to be able to go in. We want to go have a great time. It's a great experience, but we need to go win this football game. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it, Jeff. Good luck. Thank you.
And a huge storyline here for quarterback Devin Leary. This is his 4th bowl game, but the first one he's going to be playing in. But when he played at NC State, they did see Clemson back in 2020, so he has some familiarities with the team a little bit. He does, and it's going to be big for the Wildcats. All right, when we return, we will flip it over to the other side of the ball. I sit down with Brad White. That's coming up right after this.
Coal is Kentucky's most vital natural resource. It's affordable, reliable, and essential for our economy. Every coal job in Kentucky creates 3 to 5 additional jobs in local communities, driving investment and supporting local businesses. Coal plays a crucial role in generating affordable electricity, giving Kentucky a competitive edge in attracting businesses and creating jobs. Also, the taxes from coal support local infrastructure across the Commonwealth. Coal, it keeps the lights on. Powered by Friends of Coal.
This is how you take the field. This is how you make Saturday special. And this is how you leave your mark. This is how we go all out and show how the game is played. SEC on ESPN and ABC. This is how it's done.
It's Furniture World Superstore's New Year's sale. Incredible New Year's savings. Plus, interest-free financing for up to 2 years with 0 down payment. Start your new year right and save. Leather power reclining love seat, $949. 14-inch queen hybrid mattress, $479. Save on furniture and mattresses store-wide. Plus, get interest-free financing for up to 2 years with 0, zilch, zip, nothing down. The New Year's sale at Furniture World Superstore. The local guys with the best buys.
It's out with the stew and in with the new.
Uncle Rick, that's out with the old, in with the new.
No matter how you say it or celebrate it, Clark's has the best of both worlds.
How about the new? This year, we've opened 6 new stores to better serve you, and in 2024, our total number of locations will grow to 68. But one thing that won't change, our unmatched selection.
Here's hoping to seeing you in 2024, and that it's the best year yet.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return,
refresh, refuel.
Life can get pretty busy with someone to take care of their house.
4 different little schedules to follow.
Matt and Claire needed someone to take care of their house while they were taking care of everything else. So they called West Shore Home.
Our bathtub was very old, so we weren't really sure what was under that bathtub.
It's kind of crazy. They don't just cover it up. In just a few hours, they totally replaced the old tub. I didn't realize how big that bathroom is.
It looked like a different bathroom, honestly.
Yeah.
From all of us at News at Noon,
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Hey, welcome back into the Seawalk Pavilion at Jacksonville Beach. I'm Jeff McCord alongside of Hallie DeVore. Now let's talk about defense. It is the strength for both of these teams.
Yeah, definitely a strength for Kentucky. This is a defense that's been fairly consistent all season, and with an offense that's been less consistent, they're really going to need a show out tomorrow.
Well, they are. And again, J.J. Weaver coming back next year is going to be big for them. Yeah. But another big one is Trevin Wallace, who declared for the NFL draft but said he still wants to play in this game. I was able to sit down with Brad White, the defensive coordinator. Here's what he had to say about this game and next season.
Brad, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes before the game. Transfer portal has been good, and it's also taken away. This year, Mark's allowing anybody to come back and play. Does that help you? Are you going to have anybody that's not playing that has said they're leaving?
No, we're going to have our base back. Yeah, so that's a real positive for us. You know, to be able to roll out your starting 11 in this day and age is a huge advantage. We're excited to get down there. It's a great bowl. You think about a named bowl against a named opponent, you know, with a little bit of sun, and, you know, they'll be ready.
And quite frankly, in a season that didn't really turn out the way a lot of us thought it would. It was an interesting season, and I'll use that word because there were games the defense was brilliant and the offense didn't show up. And there were games when the defense had their troubles and the offense showed up. I don't know if this team has played a total game. I thought Louisville was a pretty darn good game that they played. I don't know if they've played that total game yet, have they?
On both sides of the ball, probably like
Florida was pretty good too.
Florida was solid, you know, but I would say from start to finish, fully complete, probably not. Probably not hasn't been put together. I think there were games this year that did happen, you know, to include the special teams aspect of it. But it's been one of those seasons that has had a lot of ups and downs, and really proud of this team in terms of how they've responded. Because there were times that when it started to go down, a lot of programs, that's when cracks happen and it starts to crumble and they fold. And this team kept fighting. And then to get the big win there against a top 10 opponent on the road, to finish that, to sort of catapult us to this opportunity to play in this bowl. Now we need to go capitalize on it and finish the season off on a high note. It started really high, had those little blips in between. Now let's go finish high, use that as a catapult, into the next season. Obviously we've seen what the 24 season looks like, and going to have some really exciting games, and should be an exciting schedule.
When you look at this Clemson team, they're an SEC team. I mean, they've got great size, they have great speed. I mean, you look at Louisville, they didn't have the team speed that Kentucky had. They didn't have the size, but Clemson does, right? I mean, this is just like playing in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, right?
They very much so. Like, they are built and constructed like that. And so the one thing that I'll say is that it's something that we're used to. So it's not going to surprise us. Now, I'm not saying that it's not going to challenge us, because it very much is. And like I said, the two running backs, the quarterback is extremely mobile. The O-line does a really nice job, in terms of covering up people. They work really well together. They're athletic. The tight end, obviously I think Brock Bowers is sort of in a league of his own, but I think this their tight end is about as good of a pass receiver as we've seen this year. So he creates some matchup issues, in the scheme. I mean, Garrett Riley was in the national title game last year with this offense. So this is an offense that when they start clicking and when they click, like, they can score at a high rate. So hopefully that we can limit that, create some turnovers, create some short fields, for the offense, so that they can get rolling against a really good defense.
I think what fans don't understand is what going to a bowl game means, and it's the extra practices.
Yep.
There's two things that come out of that. One, the young kids, you get to look at them a little bit more, because the old guys are like, this is my last game, I'm just going to relax, and you do a lot more hitting with the young guys. Then the second thing is, you guys are banged up a lot this year. It gives these guys time to get healthy, right?
It does. It acts like a multi-week bye, to get healthy. And like you said, it allows other guys to get reps. And listen, not that we haven't sort of been hit, with transfer portal. So, some of the roster can be a little bit thin. So there are a lot of quality reps for guys, not just for this game, but then going forward to the future. And so really helps in that regard, really helps sort of from a continuity standpoint. So you're mixing young guys and old guys. And so now these old guys get a feel of, the young guys, and the young guys get to say, hey, I'm communicating with maybe a guy that I haven't in the past. I've been, rolling with the threes, or I've been rolling with the twos, and now I'm communicating with, a first teamer. Like, this is what it's like. And then, they get that understanding and that expectation. So, whether they step foot on the field, on December 29th, or they use that as their catapult into spring and then into the fall.
All right, let's go get a win.
Let's go get it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, he makes a great point there about the young and the old, mixing them. But I think the two players coming back that didn't have to play in this, Andrew Phillips, the cornerback, and Trevin Wallace, wanting to finish their career in this bowl game, huge for that defense.
And we were just talking a little bit about how this game is going to be a battle of the defenses. For Clemson, they lost a lot of their key starters, especially in that secondary. But Mark Stoops and a lot of the players say that secondary and that defense runs deep. So it still could be a hard-fought battle as far as the defense.
Yeah, Clemson's kind of like a Georgia and an Alabama. Their backups are still four-star players.
Exactly.
So it's going to be real interesting come tomorrow. All right, stay with us. Still plenty more to come when we return after this.
Get your home ready for the holidays with new flooring from Corvin's Furniture and Flooring. Waterproof vinyl planks starting at $1.79 per square foot. Browse Kentucky's largest in-stock flooring selection with over 40 styles to choose from. Corvin's Furniture and Flooring on New Circle Road in Lexington.
Coal is Kentucky's most vital natural resource. It's affordable, reliable, and essential for our economy. Every coal job in Kentucky creates 3 to 5 additional jobs in local communities, driving investment and supporting local businesses. Coal plays a crucial role in generating affordable electricity, giving Kentucky a competitive edge in attracting businesses and creating jobs. Also, the taxes from coal support local infrastructure across the Commonwealth. Coal, it keeps the lights on. Powered by Friends of Coal.
Welcome to Toyotathon.
Hi, I want a new Toyota for a weekend getaway. Recharge from the holidays.
Perfect. We've got new vehicles arriving daily.
Excuse me. I have got a truckload of new Toyotas out front.
A truckload of new Toyotas?
Yes. Wait,
come on, man.
I want one.
Something I said?
Yes.
Toyota is now offering $1,000 APR cash on all these new gas model 2024 Toyotas, including Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Highlander, Grand Highlander, and Tundra.
Toyotathon ends January 2nd.
Toyota, let's go places.
To win a championship, you've got to have great players.
And great players need a great coach.
But there's only one stop you need to remember when you cheer on your team, and that's Clark's Pup and Shop.
Whether you're heading to the game or staying home to cheer, Clark's has a huge selection of snacks, drinks, and an incredible combination of fresh food. Now that's a lineup that can't be beat. Go to myclarkspns.com to download the app, find locations, and learn more about joining the Clark's team.
Clark's Pup and Shop.
Return.
Refresh.
Refuel.
Elliott Services is Central Kentucky's full-service electrical contractor. Connected to a proud tradition of electrical excellence, customers can count on Elliott Services for safe, reliable, and high-quality service for their home, business, or commercial project. Whether the project requires months of planning or you need an emergency repair in the middle of the night, the talented team at Elliott Services stands prepared to provide an effective solution when you need it most. Contact Elliott Services for a quote today.
Get your home ready for the holidays with new flooring from Corvin's Furniture and Flooring. Waterproof vinyl planks starting at $1.79 per square foot. Browse Kentucky's largest in-stock flooring selection with over 40 styles to choose from. Corvin's Furniture and Flooring on New Circle Road in Lexington.
Shriners Children's Lexington, the most amazing care anywhere.
ABC 36 Friends of Coal Solid Blue Preview Show.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Well, we've heard from both coaches now, and now we turn to hear from more of a reporter standpoint. Not me and not Jeff, but people who somehow get even deeper into the team. Jeff Pecoro sat down with some Kentucky football beat writers, John Clay and Aaron Gershaw, and here's what they had to say about the season and the upcoming game.
What went right? What went wrong this year? I think it's the easiest question to ask.
What went right would be the first 5 games of the year and the last one. That's about it. It really, look, the expectations were higher than this. I know Kentucky was picked to finish 4th in the SEC East after picked to finish 2nd last year, but 7-5 wasn't what the fans were looking for. What went wrong was the offense didn't perform. There was a lot of expectations with Liam Cohen back, with Devin Leary, the highest rated quarterback in the transfer portal, and that stuff didn't work out. Ray Davis had a great year, but overall the offense did not produce enough to get the results Kentucky was hoping for.
John?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Aaron. I mean, what went right was the last game to beat Louisville, especially the season that Louisville has had, and to kind of put a little different spin on this season to beat Louisville was huge. As far as what went wrong, like Aaron said, the offense did not quite live up to expectations. And also, I think defensively, they knew they lost some guys on defense. They thought they had some young guys who could step in there and take their place, and not all that didn't happen quite exactly the way they wanted to. So I think one of the big things they talked about, which they were able to do in the Louisville game, was play complementary football, and they were not able to do that during the year. The offense might have a good game, but the defense didn't hold up, or the defense would have a good game, but the offense wouldn't come through.
Aaron brought up Devin Leary. He threw for 2,400 yards. He had, 23 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, but just a 62.3 overall quarterback rating. That doesn't cut it in the SEC.
No, I mean, and especially when Devin came in with the reputation of being a pinpoint passer. Right. I mean, Will Levis, following Will Levis obviously a big, strong kid with a powerful arm. Leary was supposed to be, but Will had his accuracy problems from time to time. Devin was supposed to be the exact opposite of that. He was not as big as Levis, but he had that, they talked about him, throwing the ball through a mailbox, that sort of guy. And it didn't really turn out that way. I thought he got better as the year went on, and he was better. He was, pretty good in the Louisville game, especially down the stretch, but he was erratic during the year. I always wondered if, he had that surgery last year at North Carolina State, cost him the last half of the season. Maybe he didn't come back, as quickly as they thought. Maybe did he change his throwing motion, something like that. But yeah, Leary was good, but I don't think he wasn't up to like we talked about, the expectations that they felt like going into the season.
It was frustrating, and that's why the completion percentage was around 54%, and that's just not going to cut it.
There are 3 games every year on Kentucky's schedule I think are imperative that they win. And they're very winnable games because to get to right behind Georgia, you've got to beat Missouri, you've got to beat South Carolina, and you've got to beat Mississippi State. They went 1-2 in those games, but should have won all 3.
Yeah, could have. I mean, they were up 14-0 on Missouri. The fake punt kind of turned the momentum. Missouri, I think, though, turned out to be better than anybody thought they would be, especially at the time Kentucky played them, where they end up 10-2.
10-2, yeah.
Yeah, played Georgia really tough. Right. So, yeah, the South Carolina game, to me, I mean, I've been covering them a long time. We've been covering them a long time. That's as disappointed as I've seen Mark Stoops after a game. I mean, he was really down because I know he felt Kentucky had the better team. They had chances to win that game and didn't win that game. That was a big game for them. So, yeah, those 3, I agree 100%. Those 3 games are key to them, and losing those 2 games, especially the South Carolina game. You beat South Carolina, Louisville at the end of the year. You finish 8-4, going into a bowl game. Right. People feel a lot better about the season.
Do you agree?
100%. I mean, the Missouri game, in hindsight, you can kind of accept it. And even that game, they played pretty well. The score wasn't exactly reflective, I still don't think. Because if you look at the yards that Brady Cook had or Luther Burton, it was 2 of their worst games of the year. They still lose it, whatever. But the South Carolina game, South Carolina was a bad team. We'll just put it how it is. They were a bad football team. They went 5-7. They probably should have been even worse than that. But Kentucky just third down in that game on both sides of the ball. Couldn't get off the field, couldn't stay on it. And that's what cost them that one.
All right, transfer portal. This is the new thing in college football. But I think it's really hurt Kentucky this year on the defensive side, especially when you lose, not so much a transfer portal, but with Wallace leaving to go to the NFL. And then Keaton Wade out of nowhere says, I'm out of here. You lose 2 linebackers. That's a huge hit.
Yeah, it's a tough blow, and I think the Wade situation we kind of saw coming a little bit, especially with the Twins thing. When you have a quarterback that's not playing much, he's probably going to transfer. That's how it is. And Destin Wade.
But the Colorado, where the coach's son is the starter.
I know. We could argue all day about that, if he should move to tight end or whatever with Destin Wade. But losing Keaton hurts. Losing Trevin Wallace early really stings. But as of now, Derek Jackson is supposed to come back. That's a big help. Hopefully he can fill that other inside linebacker position next to him through the portal. If not, maybe Davian Rader could step up and be ready. He actually played pretty well, I thought, when he started against Missouri with Wallace out. But J.J. Weaver still has another year of eligibility and has not decided as of now. So we'll see. That could be a 6th-year guy you get back, kind of like Eli Cox and Marcus Cox.
I thought one of the things that hurt them this year was they lost 2 transfer guys in Jacquez Jones and the Smith kid who was the cornerback, and they really didn't replace those guys. I thought, Wallace and Jackson played well, but not quite to the same level of DeAndre Square and Jacquez Jones, who had all that experience, especially that SEC experience.
You mentioned Vandegrift. Can they get lightning in the bottle twice? Because to me, he's the exact same player that Levis was. Played at a big school, couldn't win the starter's job, transfers in having a handful of plays under his belt.
Vandegrift almost beat Carson Beck out for the job. People kind of forget that with the season that Beck had. They were neck and neck right down to the wire before they ended up going with Beck.
He has the makeup for a guy that Liam Cohn would like. He's 6'3", he can move. I think he's more of a schematic fit than Devin Leary was. Devin Leary played in a more spread tempo offense, and I think that was, going back to the Leary thing, part of the reason he struggled this year.
All right, final question for you guys. Importance of winning this bowl game. Stoops always talks about how important it is because it really propels him into the offseason. Last year, I think they kind of passed on the bowl game because of, all the injuries they had. Yeah. The importance, though, this year, especially against a Clemson team.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. You're playing Clemson. They've won 2 national championships since the playoff era. They've been in the playoffs 6 times, 8 ACC titles. This is a name brand. And Brendan Bates said it yesterday during the press conference that guys are electing to play in this game because it is Clemson. Ray Davis is playing because he wants a shot at Clemson. Tavion Robinson, who's declared, wants a shot at Clemson. So it's a big opportunity. I think if they were in the Duke's Mayo Bowl playing Duke with half their team out, it would lose a little luster. But this is a big opportunity.
No, I agree, and I'm one of those guys who think the bowls really don't mean a whole lot because you don't of the circumstances and so forth. I think this year could be different. Like we talked about, they didn't meet not just the fans' expectations, but their own expectations this year. To finish the season with a big win over Louisville, especially after the season Louisville's had, and to beat a name brand like Clemson. And Clemson's played really well down the stretch. I know they've lost 4 games, but they won 4 in a row. They beat North Carolina. They beat South Carolina at the end, but that's a rivalry game. Right. So a win over Clemson, if you beat Louisville and Clemson back-to-back, I think gives them a lot of momentum going into next year.
Okay, I lied. I do have one more question. Kentucky announces that they do now have a new receivers coach coming in from Houston. Importance of getting him in and in here early so he can really get into this over the fall.
It's huge, and he's only 29 years old, I believe. Just finished playing at West Virginia in 2016. So Liam Cohen was talking about when he before they hired him, what he wanted in a new receivers coach. He talked about a guy who's played the position, played it well, and is pretty close to his playing days that he could relate with the players. He checks every box that Liam Cohen asked for.
Yeah, and he comes into a room with a lot of talented players.
That's what I was going to say.
Players who need...
How do they take the next step,
How do they take... Yeah, exactly. They need that coaching to get to the next step. And I think this, on paper anyway, this looks like a guy who can do that.
Great. John, Aaron, thank you guys so much for coming out, and good luck, and we'll be reading you in the Cat's Paws and the Herald Leader. 2 great guys right there, John Clay and Aaron Gershon. Thank you guys so much, and it's going to be fun. And coming up, we're going to talk to the coaches, right?
Yeah, I was going to say we're missing 2 pretty key guys right now. Head coach of Clemson, Dabo Swinney, and head coach of Kentucky, Mark Stoops. We'll hear from them coming up after the break.
And that daggum back, I mean, it's hard. You don't get lucky and lead the SEC in touchdowns. That's not something you just luck into.
Coal is Kentucky's most vital natural resource. It's affordable, reliable, and essential for our economy. Every coal job in Kentucky creates 3 to 5 additional jobs in local communities, driving investment and supporting local businesses. Coal plays a crucial role in generating affordable electricity, giving Kentucky a competitive edge in attracting businesses and creating jobs. Also, the taxes from coal support local infrastructure across the Commonwealth. Coal, it keeps the lights on. Powered by Friends of Coal.
From all of us here at ABC 36,
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
From our family to your family, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and thank you for watching ABC 36.
It's out with the stew and in with the new.
Uncle Rick, that's out with the old, in with the new.
no matter how you say it or celebrate it, Clark's has the best of both worlds.
How about the new? This year we've opened 6 new stores to better serve you, and in 2024, our total number of locations will grow to 68. But one thing that won't change, our unmatched selection.
Here's hoping to seeing you in 2024, and that it's the best year yet.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return,
refresh, refuel.
Welcome back to Jacksonville. Time now to hear from both coaches, Mark Stoops and Dabo Swinney.
And both of these coaches have a lot of respect for each other, but both recognize that each other's programs are a threat.
This year, finishing with 4 straight victories. We know how talented they are. They're
Just a very talented team. I could go on and on about them up front. Defensively, I know they have some players that aren't playing, but they have plenty of depth. So really built like an SEC football team. The teams we compete against each and every week, and this team looks that way. Very big, very physical, very explosive at each level. Defensively, offensively, the same. Very talented players, very well coached.
Well, they're tough. They're physical. I mean, listen, talk about any of the Stoops guys. I mean, they're all defensive guys. They're all tough guys, and I think their teams take on that personality. Coach Stoops was a great defensive coordinator as well, and so they're built to stop the run, and they're built to run the ball. That's when you watch them. That's really what it comes down to. They're a lot of motions, a lot of different things that they try to create offensively, but at the end of the day, they want to run the ball. They want to play action you. But I think they got good players at every single position. They've got some guys outside that they've really spread the ball out. It's pretty balanced. And that dadgum back, I mean, it's hard. You don't get lucky and lead the SEC in touchdowns. That's not something you just luck into. Tough physical dude, big guys up front, and then obviously Leary is a very experienced quarterback. And then defensively, same thing. They're one of the best run defenses in the country. They're stout. They're stout, all three levels.
And so it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think it's really important, to try to end on a good note. I told them before the Louisville game that the last two games of the season are the only two games all year that we're going to either walk off the field with a trophy or without one. And I can tell you from experience, it feels a heck of a lot better when you have to stay and have one of you present us a trophy and take it back home.
And head coach Dabo Swinney says that Kentucky likes to run the ball, and that's mainly because of star running back Ray Davis. I had a chance to sit down and talk with him about his season and his career overall coming up after the break.
I know that I'm there with them through every step of the way, the good times and the bad times. I don't want to just walk away and not be able to close that chapter with them and finish off the way we should have finished off.
Feels good to be home.
Save big this weekend during Ashley's New Year's Bash. Thursday through Monday, get 25% off your entire purchase. Now is the perfect time to refresh your space. Shop the New Year's Bash this weekend only at Ashley.
Coal is Kentucky's most vital natural resource. It's affordable, reliable, and essential for our economy. Every coal job in Kentucky creates 3 to 5 additional jobs in local communities, driving investment and supporting local businesses. Coal plays a crucial role in generating affordable electricity, giving Kentucky a competitive edge in attracting businesses and creating jobs. Also, the taxes from coal support local infrastructure across the Commonwealth. Coal, it keeps the lights on. Powered by Friends of Coal.
To win a championship, you've got to have great players.
And great players need a great coach.
But there's only one stop you need to remember when you cheer on your team, and that's Clark's Pub and Shop.
Whether you're heading to the game or staying home to cheer, Clark's has a huge selection of snacks, drinks, and an incredible combination of fresh food. Now that's a lineup that can't be beat. Go to myclarkspns.com to download the app, find locations, and learn more about joining the Clark's team.
Clark's Pub and Shop.
Return.
Refresh.
Refuel.
Elliott Services is Central Kentucky's full-service electrical contractor. Connected to a proud tradition of electrical excellence, customers can count on Elliott Services for safe, reliable, and high-quality service for their home, business, or commercial project. Whether the project requires months of planning or you need an emergency repair in the middle of the night, the talented team at Elliott Services stands prepared to provide an effective solution when you need it most. Contact Elliott Services for a quote today.
That's a pretty tight spot.
Watch this.
Your Buick parks itself. That's so you.
Of course you know where we're going. That's so you.
I got a 6th sense.
And a head-up display.
They're here.
At the heart of every Buick SUV is you.
Just announced for this holiday season. Get 1.9% APR on select 2023 Buick SUV models. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get up to $3,500 purchase allowance. Plus, no monthly payments for 90 days.
Feels good to be home.
Save big this weekend during Ashley's New Year's Bash. Thursday through Monday, get 25% off your entire purchase or get 0% interest for 60 months with no down payment. Shop the New Year's Bash this weekend only at Ashley.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from your ABC 36 sports team.
You transferred from Vanderbilt to Kentucky. Why'd you pick Kentucky? What stood out about this program?
I mean, just kind of looking at the roster and the guys that they had, and, you know, having Devin Leary here was kind of a perfect situation for me to come in and be a part of something, you know, historic with the guys they had before me. So it was about just kind of defeating the odds and being the underdog and coming in and rewriting history, and I was kind of able to do that. But I knew with the people that was before me that I was going to have some big shoes to fill.
And you've now played for 2 Power 5 schools, Vanderbilt and Kentucky, and now you're declaring for the NFL draft. You've been pretty open about, you know, the hardships of your childhood. If you told your 8-year-old self where you are now in your career, what would he say? Would he even believe you?
Nah, he wouldn't believe me at all. I think he'd probably laugh and just be like, keep dreaming and keep wishing, because, you know, at that time I definitely didn't think where I'd be now. You know, I'd have the opportunity to being able to play college football and have the opportunity to play at the next level.
Do you feel proud of yourself of how far you've come just over your life?
I'm proud, but you know, for me, the chapter's not over. This is just another chapter within the book that I'm writing, and I got to be able to keep going and keep the pen to the paper. At the end of the day, you know, I'm happy where I am, but I think I got a lot more to do, and I got a lot more pages to write to be able to motivate and be able to help the youth out and know that this is a place they can be if they continue to keep fighting and keep going.
Yeah, maybe what would you say to kids in your position or that were in your position in the foster care system, or just kids that are struggling about chasing after their dreams? Like you said, when you were a kid, you didn't really think that this would be possible.
Yeah, I mean, I would keep telling them just keep fighting. You know, no matter what, defeating the odds, there's going to be a lot of barriers that you have to overcome and you have to jump over and do what you got to do. But at the end of the day, if you just keep fighting and keep believing, you'll have the opportunity to achieve anything that you put your mind to.
And speaking of continuing to write your story, you originally opted out of playing the bowl game, declared for the NFL draft, and then all of a sudden on social media, we see y'all December 29th, you're going to be down in Jacksonville. Can you walk me through that decision?
I mean, to have another week to prepare with the guys, to get out there and get to practice with them, you know, I couldn't turn that opportunity down. And I started this journey with them September 2nd. I want to be able to end it December 29th, hosting up a trophy and kind of get in the ring when the late years down the line come. But it's just about just finishing something I started. I never got the opportunity to do that in any of the places that I was. So I wanted to be able to do that with them and know that no matter what, I got their backs, and this runs deeper than football. You know, these guys are family to me, and I want them to know that I'm there with them through every step of the way, the good times and the bad times. I don't want to just walk away and not be able to close that chapter with them and finish off the way we should have finished off.
And then just looking back at your season, you've had, you know, a lot of highs. Teams also had some lows, but you had to have a favorite moment. I feel like I know your favorite moment. Can I guess it? I feel like your favorite moment, you scored against Louisville and you were just ripping the L's down and at the sideline looking for Jack Harlow. Am I on target?
Yeah, no, that's definitely one of them. You know, have the opportunity to put the L's down in front of somebody who was considered an icon to all the Louisville fans. It was a great moment. I mean, the best part really was having all my teammates come in and kind of join that, and just, you know, that was kind of the turning point for our game. Barryon's kick return, but definitely having all the guys come over there and put the L's down. I mean, I've never seen so many L's down within that week or just that day.
I haven't either, and it was just an amazing experience to be there. What's maybe one more memory that stands out for you of your time at UK?
I mean, it got to be cliche, but I'd probably say the Florida game. You know, just kind of having that game and knowing how historic it was. I didn't even know where I was. I thought I had 115 yards throughout the whole game. I never knew 280, but to see my teammates, you know, smiles on their faces after the game, kind of giving me the game ball, just made me feel like this is the place I needed to be. This is the guys I wanted to go to war with, because I knew they'd have my back no matter what. So just kind of enjoying that moment with them was good.
All right, so you've had a phenomenal season numbers-wide. You've broken records, but just putting statistics aside, when people talk about the Ray Davis that played at the University of Kentucky, what do you want them to say about you?
If you go back to a clip I had said during media day, I just said I want to earn my respect. And I hope fans and I hope people remember that when I walked in here and I did everything to earn that. You know, I didn't just want to come in and think that I deserved it. I wanted to earn it. And I hope one day people can sit there and say he earned my respect as a Kentucky running back.
And then maybe if you could say one last thing to the Kentucky fan base before kickoff against Clemson, what would you say?
Oh, one thing. Ooh, I probably would say, let's go get this one. Probably something like that. I definitely would, I would think of a...
Drop the mic and then...
Yeah, I would think of a cooler punchline, but I would say let's go get this one. Keep it plain and simple and try to walk off that field with a trophy.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, and we wish you the best of luck against Clemson.
Thank you so much.
And Ray Davis was such a pleasure to talk to. He's so humble, always giving all the credit to his offensive line, and give credit where credit's due, but he makes plays.
Yeah, I played with 4 pretty good ones. All of them went to the NFL, and George Adams, Mark Logan, Mark Higgs, and Ivy Joe Hunter, and he's on track with them as well. It's cold out here today. What's the weather like tomorrow? Stay with us. You'll find out right after this.
Coal is Kentucky's most vital natural resource. It's affordable, reliable, and essential for our economy. Every coal job in Kentucky creates 3 to 5 additional jobs in local communities, driving investment and supporting local businesses. Coal plays a crucial role in generating affordable electricity, giving Kentucky a competitive edge in attracting businesses and creating jobs. Also, the taxes from coal support local infrastructure across the Commonwealth. Coal, it keeps the lights on. Powered by Friends of Coal.
It's out with the stewed, in with the new.
Uncle Rick, that's out with the old, in with the new.
No matter how you say it or celebrate it, Clark's has the best of both worlds.
How about the new? This year we've opened 6 new stores to better serve you, and in 2024, our total number of locations will grow to 68. But one thing that won't change, our unmatched selection.
Here's hoping to seeing you in 2024, and that it's the best year yet.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return,
refresh, refuel.
Elliott Services is Central Kentucky's full-service electrical contractor. Connected to a proud tradition of electrical excellence, customers can count on Elliott Services for safe, reliable, and high-quality service for their home, business, or commercial project. Whether the project requires months of planning or you need an emergency repair in the middle of the night, the talented team at Elliott Services stands prepared to provide an effective solution when you need it most. Contact Elliott Services for a quote today.
Shooting in Lexington. Tonight at 11, the latest from police after last night's deadly shooting in Lexington. And Kentucky lawmakers are working on a red flag bill that could keep guns away from those in crisis.
Gator Bowl, and more Gator Bowl tonight at 11. Well, the chilly air has moved back into the bluegrass and upper level low. Could produce a few scattered rain and snow showers wrapping up Friday. Your Storm Team forecast tonight at 11.
To win a championship, you've got to have great players.
And great players need a great coach.
But there's only one stop you need to remember when you cheer on your team, and that's Clark's Pump and Shop.
Whether you're heading to the game or staying home to cheer, Clark's has a huge selection of snacks, drinks, and an incredible combination of fresh food. Now that's a lineup that can't be beat. Go to myclarkspns.com to download the app, find locations, and learn more about joining the Clark's team.
Clark's Pump and Shop.
Return,
refresh,
refuel.
From the ABC 36 Storm Team, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Welcome back to the Seawalk Pavilion. There's not a whole lot left to say here in the show except Jane Davenport gets to see her first Kentucky game in person tomorrow, right? Are you excited?
I'm so excited, you guys, and just honored to be here, truly. I mean, sports team is such a great team. They do such a good job covering. I've learned so much from you guys. So.
Oh, we've loved getting to have you join us on this trip. We got sports, we got news, and now we're going to give you a little bit of weather. It's been a little bit colder than usual here in Jacksonville, and to give us the rundown on the temperatures of tomorrow's game is Chief Meteorologist T.G. Shuck.
I'm Chief Meteorologist T.G. Shuck. Here is your forecast for the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl coming up on Friday, high noon down in Jacksonville. Now, that frontal boundary that moved through on Thursday today that brought some clouds and some rain to the area. It also brought some cooler air. So you notice the forecast tomorrow is going to be a little bit on the cool side, even for northeastern Florida. We're talking temperatures into the mid-50s, but the other part of this, The wind, the same upper level system, which is impacting the weather here in central and eastern Kentucky, will actually kick a west wind up at about 10 to 15, occasionally gusting up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. So that will add to the cooling effect. It will also have a big impact on the kicking and the passing game. So folks heading out to the game definitely want to dress accordingly, even by Northeast Florida winter weather standards.
All right, thank you so much, TG. Yeah, it's a chilly one tonight, and you're going to get to see some fans tomorrow. You're anxious too, right?
I'm thrilled. I mean, at the game of all places. I've seen them all about town, but the game is going to be the most exciting part, I think.
And you got to talk to a lot of members of Big Blue Nation today. We were talking about earlier, we saw young, we saw old. They did a really good job coming out to Kentucky. You talked to a lot of them today. What did they have to say?
Oh my goodness, they all have so much confidence that UK has this game in the bag.
Well, let's hope so. Hey, we appreciate all of you watching. For Jane and Hallie, I'm Jeff Pecoro. Good night, everyone.